Hello and welcome to a special program of Cricket Predicta brought to you by 1xBet. We're making infrastructures, Delhi NCR. We'll also have the West Indies team that legendary players that played for us at the T20 format not long ago. Well, that's a different story altogether. Now let's talk about the match. Rohit and Bairstow's explosive opening stand of 84 runs and Sky chipped in with 33 actually sealed the deal. But more importantly, it was Rohit Sharma's night. Yes, the aging warhorse, the former skipper of the Indian team, would won perhaps everything that was meant to be won, had played a smashing inning of 81 runs, becoming the first Indian to score 300 sixes, only to follow Chris Gale's momentous number. Of course, this is the Cricket Predicta show. The Mumbai last night stole the spotlight in New Chandigarh. They defeated Gujarat Titans by 20 runs. Yes, with this now, the blockbuster clash is with Punjab Kings tomorrow at the Ahmedabad, and the winner goes straight to the final, faces the RCB, and that's when the journey begins. Well, we must look at what happened last night. Gujarat's chase was a different thing altogether. Off to a shaky start, Gill was out. Of course, Mumbai had put together a score of 228 for 5. Gill was out for 1. Mendes hit wicket. Everything that could have gone wrong, the Murphy's Law followed the Gujarat teams, and Mendes was hit wicket. Sai Sudarshan was the only shining grace who stood tall and scored over 700 runs in this year's edition, but got little support from the rest of the team. Gujarat could only manage 208 and are of IPL's 2025's edition. They are completely officially out. So now the big question, who will be in tomorrow, Mumbai or Punjab? Who will face RCB in the grand finale? We'll find out tomorrow at the Narendra Modi Stadium. Well, before that, let's talk to our panelists who are very interested in talking about what went wrong, but also highlight a little more about the stats and the stories and the data and the drama that unfolded in the last 64 days. Well, let me introduce Paul Dinette. Paul is one of the best podcasters from Australia. He's been with us not this year, but also in the previous year. Welcome to the show, Paul. With Gujarat dropping from the tournament, we've spoken about the cricket balls, we've spoken about the big shots, we've spoken about the dot balls, but nobody's ever spoken in detail about the dropped catches. Now let's look at that. 31 catches were dropped by Gujarat, the highest, and they dropped a couple of big sitters yesterday. Rajasthan Royals follows at 30 and CSK and Delhi Capitals at 25 each. Now what do you make up of this entire business of dropping catches? Your views?
Well, the drop catches certainly harmed them last night. I'm always a little bit hesitant to look at overall figures of drop catches because I don't think that always tells the full story. A few years ago in the IPL, I went through and watched every single catch and gave it a bit of a score in terms of how easy it was to catch, and then also the drop catches, how hard they were, and worked out a metric that way. And I think that's something that you do need to do because a dropped catch that is one where you've run 15 metres and dive full length and just got a fingertip to it is very different to a dropped catch that was an absolute sitter. But the two that were dropped last night off Rohit Sharma could see as one, it's a testament to how good the modern fielders are that they do drop those so comparatively rarely. So when they do get dropped on the boundary like that, it's a bit of a surprise. And Mendes is another one, not a completely straightforward one, but one that a keeper should be catching. So certainly I think it could be said that their drop catches didn't help them last night.
Well, when you look at the 228, which is not very far off from the highest ever scored by the GT in 2023, and they scored a massive 233, and 228 is not far behind. When you look at these totals in the playoff, do you think this is the sign of things to come, that you have to go out all guns blazing straight off to 11, 12 and over to stay in the match?
Actually, I think it shows more that the IPL in the last couple of seasons has even moved to a new paradigm where if you're not willing to be as explosive and get such a big total, then you're going to lose. I mean, there were times last night even where it looked like Mumbai mightn't have had enough. Gujarat came very close to really hitting favouritism at various points. It reminds me, I remember the Champions Trophy, bizarrely enough, of 2017, when the first game, Bangladesh got just over 300 and England chased it down. And it felt like, they were never in danger of chasing that down. That wasn't a particularly big score. But it was the highest score ever chased down in the Champions Trophy to date, to that date. And it was like, that's because 50 over cricket has moved on, and it's been a while since there's been a Champions Trophy. It's sort of the same, that you only have a handful of playoff games each season, and that's why these sorts of records are going to occur. But I think that as the years go by, and if the IPL continues to be 200 plus, 220 plus, we're going to see these sorts of records readily broken in the playoff games.
Well, it's like the fine wine which is aging well. When you look at Mahendra Singh Dhoni at 43, when he plays next year, he'll be 44. But when you look at 38-year-old Rohit Sharma, who recently announced his retirement, but when you saw him last night on the screen, what did you think of it? I mean, he was sitting, he was scoring as fluently what he did in 2013. Well, that wasn't a long ago. When you look at Rohit Sharma became the oldest player to score 80 plus in IPL playoffs. Of course, the other notable names were Shane Watson, Hussey and Gilchrist. Is Rohit now redefining that what experience brings on to the table, especially at the playoffs? Your views?
Oh, look, I think I don't want to go overboard as to how good an innings it was from Rohit Sharma. I mean, he was awarded Player of the Match, and certainly it was a fine innings. But he did get dropped twice, and it was the the players around him from Mumbai that really enabled them to get such a mammoth total, because they all scored more quickly than he did. So this is not a criticism of Rohit Sharma, but also I think that you've got to say there was Johnny Bairstow, Tilak Varma, Sky, and Hardik Pandya that really supercharged the innings to get it up to 220 plus. Rohit Sharma actually slowed down a bit in the final third of his innings. So fine innings, and for a 38-year-old to be doing that is superb, and it's good to see, because he's had some troubles this season, and it's nice to see a champion prove that he's still got it. But I wouldn't go overboard as to say how, it wasn't an absolutely incredible innings. It was just a very good one.
Well, we've spoken about the best bowler, the best fielder, the best spinner, everything put together. Now let's look at the first over. What happens when a bowler gets the first over? When, if you're a Trent Bolt, you have taken 32 wickets in the first over from 102 overs bowled ever in the history of your career. Bhuvneshwar Kumar isn't far enough. He's at 27. Is Bolt the ultimate first ball destructive bowler? I mean, he takes invariably wickets the time he walks in, and you get that kind of confidence. And Mumbai has been riding on his confidence. What do you think of Trent Bolt?
Yeah, I mean, he's got some magic about him in that first over, and players must know that it's likely to happen, but still he finds a way to get a wicket. And but to be fair, although his final over, the second last over of the game, when he only conceded 12, was under the circumstances a pretty good one as well. In and around that, he did cop some tap, and I think that you've got to say that it was Bumrah that was kind of the difference between the sides. That in an onslaught of batting, as we saw, and with Gujarat looking like at some points that they were going to get the total, it was Bumrah, especially his dismissal of Washington Sundar, but also just the fact that he only went at by IPL standards at a very low runs per over, was just all class. And I think in many ways he was the difference between the sides. It's the sort of thing where you look at the scorecard, and unless you're looking at it with very modern eyes, or unless you actually watch the game, you would look at that in years to come and think, Bumrah was okay, but actually he was more than okay. He was magnificent, as he always is.
We now welcome Stanley Chiodza. Of course, Stanley Chiodza has been coaching at the Emirates Hills Sportive Cricket Academy. He's the former Zimbabwean player and also the coach of the national cricket team. Stanley, welcome to the show. Ashwini Kumar, late over spell of 3.3 overs, 28 runs, 1 wicket. Especially dismissing Shahrukh Khan was crucial. Do you see him becoming a regular death bowler option for Mumbai Indians in times to come? Your views?
It was definitely a fantastic spell from Ashwani Kumar at the end of the day, especially with regards to death bowling is concerned. But the one thing that you've got to give credit to is how the captain and obviously the management, as it were, made the right call in terms of reading, assessing, and coming up with the right bowling attack on that surface. If you look at the bowling unit, it mainly consisted of seamers. There were 5 seamers in that bowling attack. You had Trent Boult, you had Bumrah, you had Gleeson, Hardik Pandya himself, and then obviously Ashwani Kumar at the end. Spin. Pretty much only 2 overs of spin were used versus the Gujarat Titans. A good tactic and a good ploy that worked. So credit obviously also goes to Hardik Pandya, the way he shuffled around his bowlers, the way he stuck to his guns, and like I said, a fantastic assessment of the conditions, and obviously the effective use of skill of that skill set of his seamers on that very surface. I think at the end of the day, that is the most important aspect. The fact that Ashwani Kumar then comes in and bowls at the death, it's all in the sense that seam was working, so it made no sense to try and perhaps hold back Ashwani and bowl a lot more spin, because these are 2 fantastic spinners they've got in Namandia and Mitchell Santner. He stuck to his guns. Seam, he saw that seam was working, and obviously a fantastic ploy to make sure that they restricted the Gujarat Titans to the total that they did. At the end of the day, I suppose the key factor here is having the options. When a certain skill set is needed, do you have that certain skill set in the bank? They had it. So I think that's the number one thing. Obviously, a good pickup in terms of a good addition to the squad, a good pickup at the auction table, as it were. So it all comes down to the makeup of the squad, and it's always good to have options. Is he that competent bowler with regards to perhaps when the senior players are not there? I think it all comes down to obviously the conditions. What do they require? They require a lot more seam, he comes in. Do they require perhaps a mixed bag? If it's a mixed bag in terms of perhaps using more spin, then you'll probably find that they'll probably go with an extra spinner and then deal with Bumrah, Trent Boult, there's Hardik Pandya himself. So therein lies obviously the one decision-making aspect about the whole concept of whether you use him as a death bowler specialist alone. But I think at the moment it's always good to have those options, and he's one of those options. But up front, generally, in conditions that are probably even Stevens, you'll probably find a more balanced use in terms of spin versus seam, obviously, where seamers bowl a few overs up front and then be kept for the back end, because they know the majority of the overs in the middle will be bowled by seam. But importantly, they have an option in him. So in conditions that prefer seam a lot more, he will definitely be a fantastic option in the death overs.
Punjab Kings chased 185 versus Mumbai with 9 balls to spare in the league stage match. How important will power play aggression be again, given that they have to score 72 for 1 in the first 6 overs of the day? Your views?
Now for Punjab Kings, the bulk of the scoring has been done by the top order. And it's a good thing that they have the top order batting lineup that is in form. So pretty much in terms of dependence or how important it is, I think we've seen it throughout the season, how good they have been and how important in terms of the effect of how good they've made starts and batted through the innings has been with regards to scoring runs is concerned. So it's pretty much an expectation now, pretty much routine, that this is what is expected of them. They have done well in that aspect. Obviously, what it has meant is that there's been very little participation with regards to the middle order is concerned. So which then brings about that very question in terms of the importance or the aggression and the start, the importance of it. So we're looking nonetheless to see nothing different from what they've been doing before. You don't want a scenario at the end of the day where at the crucial stage now where they find themselves in, you find your batters lacking in runs and lacking in form when you've had them all season. It's bound to happen. It's a game at the end of the day. You're playing a very good team with a very good bowling side. So obviously it brings about a new challenge. Each day brings about its own new challenges. The surface is obviously where they're going to play. The conditions, they will matter in how they go about their business. But what doesn't change is the mentality, the approach, the aggressive nature that they have been using. It is what has brought their success. So I don't expect them to change gear and probably be watchful. There's no point in that. You might as well finish off on a high, go about your business in the normal way that they've been doing. Prem Hussain, Arya at the top, and then obviously in the middle period with someone with a fantastic strike rate, insurance Ayer, and then obviously the finishers to come in at the end. Obviously It's a key game. There's no two ways about it. The pressure will be mounting. They know what it means. They're coming off. They will be facing a team that has also come out of a victorious campaign, beating another top campaigner in Gujarat Titans. So it's a team in good form. It's a team on the run. Punjab Kings obviously coming out of a loss. That will also be playing on the back of the mind, but it's something that you have to put in the back of your head and be prepared for what is to come. And what is to come is a fantastic bowling lineup, but up and above that, it's a bowling lineup that you're really relishing the chance and opportunity to go big, because it means a lot beating a team like Mumbai Indians with the bowling lineup that they have going into the next match. It really means a world of good in terms of positivity, in terms of confidence, and importantly, getting Punjab Kings where they haven't been in a long, very, very long time, getting into that next step of the IPL competition.
Well, Stanley, Suryakumar Yadav has scored 640 runs in this season, Mumbai's highest ever in a single edition of IPL, with Punjab using left arm spin pace cutters effectively. Is sky run rate versus spin, which is the strike rate, is at around 138, the lowest. The key metric to watch when they clash with the left arm spinner. Well, your views.
You know, when you score 640 runs in an IPL season and you're the highest scorer for your team in that very edition, I don't think people, when they hear the name Suryakumar Yadav, that people will be phased that he's done that. It's an expectation. He's a fantastic player. He's worthy of a statistic like that. But I suppose the one thing that people don't understand is where he has scored those runs and at what time he has scored those runs and at what strike rate. For you to attain that kind of a strike rate with regards to what his role, where he comes into bat, then you'll find and understand how phenomenal he has been for Mumbai Indians. Suryakumar Yadav bats in the middle order, pretty much comes in at a time when the field is spread. You've got boundary riders, you've got fielders inside the circle, so you're dealing pretty much with strike rotation, and for you to get your boundaries, you're pretty much taking risk. So you look at Suryakumar Yadav, this is where he has done his job. That's how fantastic he has been. Not watchful, carefree, but pretty much that exuberant player that we know Suryakumar Yadav has been. He's been very difficult to bowl, and he's been very difficult to bowl at a time which is either game-changing for any side. I always say this, pretty much more often than not, that T20 matches are won and lost in the middle. Suryakumar Yadav has made sure that Mumbai Indians have won plenty of matches inside that period. He's come in, he's done his job, he's played carefree cricket, fearless, and what a strike rate in terms of making sure that he stretches that need for runs if you're setting, if you see him make sure that required run rate comes down when it's the need to chase down scores. So he's been a brilliant campaigner, and I think importantly again today, what it does for Mumbai Indians is that the batters up for the order can either start a little bit slow because they know they've got somebody who's got the ability to catch up, but when you've got Rohit Sharma in form like he has, he knows he can play carefree cricket as well, attack like he knows how to do very well, set the foundation, and then you expect Suryakumar Yadav to come in and pile on the pain, as it were, against the opposition bowling. So fantastic performance from Suryakumar Yadav, and obviously there's no two ways about it. We're looking forward to seeing another spectacular performance, whether the Mumbai Indians ends up in a loss or they come out victorious, but it's always entertaining to watch Sky doing what he does best.
Well, when you talk about playoffs, Mumbai Indians are the master of trade. They won 9 out of the 10 games when batting first. Given Punjab's preference to chasing, will the toss become statistically very important, because both teams are very good at setting up total rather chasing? Remember, Mumbai is in a dashing form and Punjab is a swashbuckling, all destructive batters in the top 3. Your views?
For me, the toss is always important. Why? Because you win the toss, you get an opportunity to at least choose your comfort zone. Okay? You at least get an opportunity to use your skill set in conditions that you feel at their best used, either first or second. So obviously the toss then plays a part. Obviously we've seen how good Punjab Kings have been doing very well with regards to chasing, but then supposedly the conditions are such that they're fantastic and they're pretty much even Stevens. I think you look at that batting lineup, you look at the bowling of Mumbai Indians, I think it's an all-rounded team. You lose a match with a team like they have with regards to their batting and bowling, you pretty much have to say it's pretty much self-inflicted, or perhaps complacency creeping in and expecting things to happen on their own. Punjab Kings have somewhat of a conundrum today. Obviously, their chips are low, their shoulders are down. Heavy loss with regards to playing RCB in their last match. Things did not go according to plan. So obviously, they now have to find some sort of inspiration from matches prior on how their season has gone, and that when they play Mumbai Indians today, they have to pull out their hat, something special, to make sure that they get into the next stage. They're playing a team that's in form. They've rejuvenated themselves. Yes, every now and then, a few blocks along the way, a few stoppages, a few bumps for Mumbai Indians. Pretty much more of a reality check, but I think they've done the hard years to reinvent themselves, and they're playing the game of T20 like the team that they expected to. I think Mahela Jawana has done a very good job. Obviously, Hardik Pandya is leading the team well, especially with regards to these bowling changes. Every now and then, trying to make sure that he's effectively using their skill sets with regards to what the conditions deserve and what the situation is. So that's an aspect that's going well for him. Obviously, looking to maintain that, hopefully go all the way. But Punjab Kings know what this means. I think if there's a team that is pretty much more hungry compared to any other, it's Punjab Kings. New captain, Shahrukh, championship winning team. He's been there. He knows what it feels like. He wants to have that feeling yet again. And it has to happen today. It starts today pretty much because they're coming out for the loss. Helter skelter is all they need to do. Hook, line, and sinker. Leave everything pretty much in the park. It's all there to play for. Otherwise, there is a dream getting shattered today.
Well, thank you, Stanley. We now Stanley makes way for Noel David. Noel David, of course, has been one of the most prolific voices who's been through with us not only now but also in the past. He's been one of the best voices. Former Indian off spinner. He's now coaching the Assam juniors team. Noel, welcome to the show. Sai Sudarshan score of 759. Yes, one season, 759 runs this season is the 5th highest in the IPL history. Despite his 81 not out, GT couldn't chase 229. What could the middle order have done once they saw there was a huge total up on the board? Sai Sudarshan was going strong despite the earlier loss. What is your opinion of the entire match last night? Your view?
Hi Sunil, yeah, bad luck to GT. They tried till the end, but couldn't cross that line of 229 runs. 3 for 1 when they went on to chase that total. They lost Shubman very early, but Mendes did play that little cameo of an inning, putting a partnership of 50 odd runs with Sai Sudarshan. Then he got out. Then Washington Sundar came in. He played well, really well. I thought these two Tamil Nadu guys will take the game away from Mumbai Indians, the way they were striking the ball well. But what a yorker from Bumrah, got rid of Sundar. And I thought, oh my God, will this be the end? But Sai played that knock, but I don't think Sai should have played that shot, which was not required at that stage, because he knew how important his wicket was, because he lost 2 good players in front of him who had a runs partnership, and he should have known, if he would have stayed, I think he could have finished the game. But that shot was not needed at that moment, I felt, because there were players who could have revolved with him at that moment. But when he got out, I think it was 57 required in 25 balls or something. That was little in asking, because Mumbai had those bowlers who could control that part when it came to the death overs, because there was Bumrah, there was Ashwin, and the spinners along with Santner also. But I think Sai was the find for me. I think he played well. He tried his best. He scored 80, but couldn't finish that what we all expected out of him, because he is a very calculated player for what we all seen him during this IPL. Getting 700 odd runs, which is the 4th highest in the IPL. That shows how good he is as a batsman. But Mumbai Indians all the way. in this tournament. One more game for them to get into the finals. Let's sit and watch what's going to happen in the eliminator.
Well, when you think of Jasprit Bumrah, nothing can go wrong. In fact, he's bowled 4 overs for just 27 runs on a high-scoring flat pitch. More impressively, his 4.78 economy in 7 to 15 overs. Yes, we'd only look at, as statistics, we'd only look at the first power play, but we also look at the middle overs. Very crucial. What you see on your screen is 4.78 run economy, yes, in a T20 match, and he manages to bowl in the middle overs. This season has been the best amongst the 88 bowlers used in IPL. What makes Bumrah so lethal in the middle phase? Your views?
No doubt on anyone's mind, Sunil. He is one of the dangerous and lethal bowler when it comes to the shorter format or the test series. Minded, he could, bowl at his will. We say, the ball should talk when you bowl, and that's what he does. He talks with the ball when he bowls. He has such control over his bowling. He has such control in his swing, in his yorkers, in his slow ones. He varies his pace, whether it's the start of the inning or the death overs of the game. I think he knows what he is doing. He is such experienced campaigner when it comes to these T20 formats or the one days, and leave tests arena aside, but he is just lethal. He increases pace a yard every time when he comes into bowl. You could see that willingness to and that passion when he comes into bowl. I think that's why he's known for as the #1 bowler in the shorter form, especially in T20. The captains have a lot of faith in him, especially when they need that breakthrough, whether it's the initial or the middle overs. When they are struggling, they know who to throw the ball to. It is Bumrah, and he comes and proves it right to the captain, takes a wicket, gives it back, and then he walks out to his field. I think that's what a bowler is about. I think there's no words I can talk about this gentleman, because whatever we say, he's just proven everyone right, and I think hats off to this guy who's been bowling his heart out for Mumbai Indians.
Let's talk about Punjab for a bit. They've got the highest batting rate in the middle overs. Between 10 and 15 overs, they're absolute smashers. This season, over 10.3 runs per over. Can Mumbai Indians middle order specialists like Ashwini Kumar and Bumrah stop their momentum again? We've got to realize that economy rate is 4.78 between 7 and 15 overs of Bumrah.
I don't think it matters, Sunil, for Mumbai Indians. I don't think they will be looking at this strike rate what Punjab has in the middle or in the start, because they are very confident in their bowling attack, Mumbai Indians, and they have proved it, and they are still proving it. And it should be the other way around. I think the Punjab Super Kings should be worried about the bowling attack what the Mumbai Indians have, because Bumrah is there, young Ashwin, Gleeson, Santner, all these guys have the experience to control the game when really needed. Yes, the pressure will be on Ashwin, but he has always proved whenever the pressure is on him. He's come good with the ball, but I don't think it will affect Bumrah in any way, the strike rate or Santner, because they are just superb to control the game in the middle with their bowling. Punjab Super Kings will also be under pressure because they have lost the last game against RCB and they got out very cheaply. So that will be running in their mind. So every batsman who come will be thinking twice before they can launch the attack, because it's not going to be easy against these bowlers. They really need to step up and execute their plans very well against such kind of bowlers. I think the key wicket will be of Shreyas Iyer, which everyone in the dugout of the Mumbai Indians will know. The initial power play, Trent Bolt. Sorry, I forgot about Trent Bolt. I think he's a guy who will get that initial breakthrough for the Mumbai Indians in the power play. So I think Punjab Super Kings have to be extra cautious when they play such bowlers. Yes, we all know it's a T20 format and an eliminator, so they have to go all out. But at the same time, they have to execute their plans and be a little cautious in their execution.
Well, the show is called Cricket Predictor, brought to you by 1xBet. We are with CM Gautam. CM Gautam, of course, has been the former Mumbai Indians player who's seen the dugout, explained us the match situations and the pressure of a dugout. CM, welcome to the show. I think your golf will get more time considering the IPL is now getting over. This was the highest ever aggregate of an IPL player of 436 runs. Are we seeing a fundamental shift in how teams approach the knockout match? Just imagine 436 runs in 40 overs game. Did you ever imagine when you were growing up and you were playing the one days and the T20s of the game? Your views.
Yeah, hi Sunil. Yeah, thanks for having me on the show. Yes, there has been a record aggregator in the playoff just because of the philosophical change. The way teams approach the knockouts has been like completely different compared to previous editions. They just go after the bowling from ball one. They're not worried about throwing away the wickets, and it's all about the power game now. Initially with the new ball, they want to make use of the power play. As many runs as possible, they want to score. So I think there has been like a lot of changes in T20 cricket just because of the impact sub coming in, where you know that you have an extra batter. Even if you lose a couple of early wickets, you know that you can. The impact sub can come and change the game. So that's been one of those changes where T20 cricket has changed, especially the IPL. And moreover, even the pitches have gotten better to bat on. So yeah, it's entertaining to watch T20 cricket. It's not like before. And yesterday's game was proof. Hardik Pandya, after winning the toss, he didn't hesitate to bat first, and that was something like which was very very surprising. They wanted to put on those big totals on the board so that they can come and bowl freely. So even the mindset change of these captains and the management has taken T20 to a different level altogether.
Well, let's talk about your former teammate and your buddy. Rohit Sharma's playoff record is now 9 wins out of 10 while batting first. Yes, does this reinforce the idea Mumbai prefers to go in with that kind of ease and that kind of confidence, especially going out and scoring big runs and then throwing the challenge up to the opponent to chase it? Your views?
Yeah, we all know Rohit Sharma's crucial contribution in knockout games, for India and for Mumbai Indians. He's a big match player. He knows how to put pressure back on the bowlers. He goes attacking mode straight away. He doesn't take that much of time to settle down or anything. So yeah, it's all about mindset. It's all about what the team management needs from you. And he clearly knows what his role is in the team. There is I'm not surprised seeing Rohit the way he's batting, and even though he has a couple of failures in the early of the tournament, the way he's come back and is surprised each and everyone. So I think that's the way to play. And even yesterday, Mumbai Indians like to bat first, and that's been a change of strategy from the team management, which took everyone by surprise by batting first. So they need to play freely and score those big runs. So that's been the case of Mumbai Indians. That's the reason why they won so many championships in the past.
Well, CM, the show is called Cricket Predictor, and we also analyze what went wrong with the top team. Of course, Gujarat was one of the best teams, and they had the best middle overs batting record this season. They were scoring at 10.02 with an average per wicket of 56. But still lost despite whatever they scored, 208. Does this loss raise concern not only about their batting on the middle over, but about the bowling, who led 20, 30 odd runs go extra, which was the reason why they faltered at the end? Your views?
Yeah, GT have bowled well in the middle over in the entire tournament. They've always looked to pick up wickets in the middle overs. And last night was the exception, just because their main bowler, Prasidh Krishna, went for a lot of runs yesterday. You know, he got hit for like 2 overs 36, which was like taken by surprise by everyone. And sometimes all these big batsmen, especially Rohit Sharma, Johnny Bairstow, Surya, they know to attack their main bowlers. So that's been the strength, and sometimes it is a strategy to attack the main bowler of opponent so that they can bring down the morale of the team and the captain. And last night was one of those examples how they took on Prasidh Krishna. And yeah, I think GT have lost the momentum. They should have won those last 2 games in the league phase where they failed to win, and that has cost them the tournament because they played the eliminator. If they had won the last 2 games of the league, they would have played the qualifier one where they could have had another chance in the qualifier too. So yeah, I think they didn't bowl well, especially Siraj in the power play. He was taken for a lot of runs, and Rashid Khan didn't do that well in this year's IPL. So that cost him the games, and even Rashid was not able to pick up those crucial wickets which he used to do in the previous edition. So yeah, I think GT have to look into their bowling going into the auction. The batting was good, and the bowling was not that great, to be honest with you, except Prasidh Krishna.
Well, there you had it. You had four of the best voices of the game who's been with us for the last 2 months talking about the intricacies, the stats, the stories, the data, the drama, the dare, everything predict. The show is called Cricket Predicta. I'm Sunil Yashkalra, signing off from the beautiful Mabella Resorts in the Sharjah, and requesting you not to change the channel. We'll be back after the short commercial break. Don't go anywhere else. See you soon.